History shows that it can be tough to beat an Iowa incumbent. Republican, Democrat, doesn't seem to matter. Iowans seem to like the familiar. And the latest financials show that it is difficult to raise money against incumbents sometimes too. So we now know just how the money is working against Democrats trying to defeat Kim Reynolds for governor this November. Reynolds has 559 times as much campaign money in the bank compared to top Democratic challenger Deidre DeJear. Money's not everything, but that is a lot to overcome. And where politics, music, and health collide, the death of Meat Loaf. He sold more than 80 million albums in his musical career, and he recently was speaking out against COVID-19 restrictions before he died. 19 years ago, you might remember, he performed live at the Orpheum Theater in Sioux City. Rest in peace. But we're going to start in depth on the Insiders this week with this.
We decided that what we needed was like a way for all of us to get together because we didn't know who was affected.
Well, they're figuring it out and uniting against those carbon sequestration pipelines. We'll hear from two landowners in the pipeline's path who say big names and big money work against them, but they pledge to stop those pipelines from coming through their family's land. Plus, remember when your neighbors barely knew what a Secretary of State even did? Well, Iowa's Secretary of State will join us on this intense focus on what he and his colleagues do, what he says they're up against, and the one other issue that he is passionate about, which has nothing to do with voting.
From your local election headquarters, this is the Insiders with Dave Price.
So there are now three different groups looking to run those carbon sequestration pipelines underground through parts of our state. They could make billions of dollars as they take the carbon produced at ethanol plants, send that underground to then connect with pipelines from other states in the region of the country. Former Governor Terry Branstad is working on behalf of one of those pipelines. You might remember he joined us here on the Insiders a couple of weeks ago. Branstad says a pipeline makes those ethanol plants more environmentally friendly by moving that carbon out. Now, eventually, the companies would need permission from the Iowa Utilities Board to get these pipelines through. They would, of course, also need permission from the landowners so the pipelines could run through those properties. Now, if they can't reach a financial agreement with those property owners, they could try eminent domain and force the landowners to let that pipeline through. State Representative Bobby Kaufman, a Wilton Republican and son of the state party chair Jeff Kaufman, initially said that he was working on a bill that could limit how eminent domain could be used. Apparently things changed, so this past week a news release came out and said no, Kaufman would no longer be working on this. Now, these three pipelines are not to that level yet where eminent domain is a certainty, but one man in Spirit Lake in Dickinson County, well, that's where the one project from Summit Carbon Solutions in Ames proposed a pipeline to go through his area. Then there's another woman over in Lynn County in the town of Lisbon. Navigator CO2 Ventures is looking at her area for another one of the pipelines. Archer Daniel Midlands has a third option that would also go through the state. Now, this Spirit Lake farmer and Lisbon daughter of a farmer plan to fight the pipelines.
With my neighbors, there's not a single neighbor who wants his Century Farm ripped up on the promise of an extra penny or two for a bushel of corn, because you had to understand the land means a lot to us, and what Mother Nature took 1,000 years to create in terms of our soils, you know, it'll just be ripped up with this pipeline, and it's like Humpty Dumpty. You can't put it back together again. And so there's the land. I mean, that's one issue, but the other issue is really, you know, what is this really for? And the more I've been learning about it, it seems to me it's nothing but a tool for the oil and gas industry. They say it's about ethanol, but really the amount of carbon dioxide that they're going to capture from the fermentation of the corn, that's only about 30% of the total output of carbon dioxide for ADM, for example. So they're going to capture that 30%. But the gorilla in the room is that ethanol requires a lot of electricity and heat to produce this fermentation. And when that electricity comes from coal, which it does in the case of many of our ethanol plants in my area, that's 70% of their carbon dioxide emissions. It's coal. So this project, you know, if they want to be green and reduce carbon dioxide emissions, actually there's been a study that ADM commissioned about what they could do to be greener. The number one thing they can do is get rid of coal. That addresses 70% of their emissions. How do they do it? Switch to natural gas, switch to renewables. And in Iowa, we get over 50% of our electricity from renewable sources. I mean, we can do this. We can do this.
As you look at how these are progressing, so we're talking about there are three different pipelines proposed here. A couple of weeks ago, we had former Governor Terry Branstad, who's helping one of the efforts. The son of another former governor, Tom Vilsack, one of his sons, is legal counsel for one of the projects. Does this feel even possible for both of you to stop your respective pipelines? And is that what you want? Do you want it stopped altogether, or do you just not want it to come through your property?
Oh, we want to stop it altogether because it's not fair if we stop it for us and we don't stop it for our neighbor. And I'll just give you an example. I mean, I know you said the two of us, but it's not really just the two of us. I mean, there are hundreds of people who feel the same way that we do, hundreds of people who are getting to know what this is really about, and they're concerned about it. So we just happen to be here today, but we've got all our neighbors, you know, standing up together with us.
Dan, is this something that can be stopped?
You know, that's where I really become passionate about this is the very fact that Terry Branstad is working for, an employee of, and it goes to prove my point that you introduced him as former governor. So he carries a lot of political clout. You know, that's what Summit bought when they brought him on the team, was the political clout that he throws around. And I want to point out further that there's three people that makes this decision whether eminent domain happens on my ground. He placed two of them.
On the utilities board?
Governor Reynolds placed the other one. And in my book, they just bought the votes for Summit.
So, having said that, then, that sounds kind of defeatist here. Are you throwing in the towel?
No, he bought the vote. Okay, either Summit is lying to me when they came over to me and said, we'll eminent domain your ground. Do they already got the permit? No. Do they feel pretty confident that there is going to be a permit to them? Well, gee whiz. Terry Branstad put the people on the utilities board, and I bet you he's just going to about promise them that. And it's going to take the community, the people of Iowa to stand up and say, that's corruption from day one. If you're just going to ram this permit down our throat, and we don't want it.
Yeah.
Are both of you already in the stages of negotiations with what they would pay you for, or is it not that far yet?
It's not that far for Navigator, and in fact, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, and all the neighbors I've talked to, we just hang up the phone. We don't want to talk to them. Yeah, really. We know they're professionals at what they do, and we don't want to be manipulated.
Dan?
There's no amount of money they could pay me to go through my ground.
Literally no money.
No.
They offer you $1 million.
Go to hell.
Yeah. Can I say something about how we feel? Because I know sometimes it seems like maybe we're fighting against the powers that be, you know. But I'll tell you why I'm doing it. You know, when I was in college, I came home one night, you know, from my classes, and I found that, like, you know, my dad had had an accident. He was repairing his combine. He's a corn and bean farmer. And his thumb was ripped off, you know. And that's a pretty serious thing to have happen. And we were just lucky it wasn't worse, you know. But meanwhile, it was autumn, and his crop was in the field. We didn't know what we were going to do. Our neighbors, all of our neighbors just got together. We didn't even know they were doing this. They all got together, and one day they showed up with their combines and their tractors and the wagons and the augers. And then, you know, the women, they brought, like, you know, this amazing food and pies, and they did it. In one day, they harvested all the rest of my dad's crop. And they took what was a difficult situation for us with the accident, and they turned it into this amazing, almost like a celebration. It's such a beautiful thing that they did because they're strong people and they stand by their neighbors. And that's what we're doing right now, you know. Treat thy neighbor as thyself. That's what we live for. That's how we live. And so we're standing up because it's the right thing to do. And everybody has different skills. Everybody has different talents. Well, when the moment is right, you've got to stand up and do whatever you can to help your neighbors. And I sincerely feel that my neighbors and I, we don't deserve this toxic waste pipeline through our land. So we're going to stand up. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. And I sincerely hope that our politicians will remember who we are and who they're working for.
I've dug a hole in the ground. I know it takes 10 years before you can't notice where that bump is anymore, or that crop is growing great there again, at the minimum. And it just, they have no concept of digging in my ground and what it's going to do. And number one, I don't want it. And if it was Highway 71 needed to widen up a little bit or something, okay, I get it. But this is solely for the profit of an ethanol company and the pipeline company. The little bit of money they're going to give me for the ground while they've disturbed it is nothing. And then the billions of dollars that's running through that very pipeline, I get nothing out of it.
More in the weeks ahead on this. Coming up next, the Secretary of State on another fight against conspiracies.